A hearing aid from your audiologist costs $4,000 on average. The ones on this list cost under $400. Some cost under $100. And 3 of them use the same chip technology sitting inside devices your audiologist is charging you 10 times more for. This is not a list of cheap hearing aids that sort of work. This is a list of hearing aids that genuinely outperform their price tag. We ran every one through the same 5 tests: chip quality, real-world performance in noise, app and controls, battery life, and value per dollar spent. Some surprised us. A few shocked us. Here is the full list. Number 10. Audien Atom Pro. $99. $99. That number should not exist for a rechargeable hearing aid with a digital processor and a design small enough that most people will not notice you are wearing it. But it does. Audien is a direct-to-consumer brand out of the United States. They cut out the audiologist, the clinic overhead, the insurance billing infrastructure, and every other layer between the factory and your ear. The Atom Pro is what happens when you strip all of that out and put the money into the device itself. The processing is basic by clinical standards. The Atom Pro amplifies sound across a fixed frequency range with limited ability to customize for your specific hearing loss pattern. No Bluetooth streaming, no app, no directional microphone system. What you get is a well-built, comfortable, rechargeable device that makes sound louder and clearer in a way that genuinely helps people with mild to moderate high-frequency hearing loss. And for a massive portion of people who need hearing aids, mild to moderate high-frequency loss is exactly what they have. The design is completely in canal. Nothing sits behind your ear. First-time wearers consistently say it is the most comfortable hearing aid they have tried, which matters more than it sounds. A hearing aid you actually wear every day beats a technically superior one sitting in a drawer. Battery runs about 20 hours per charge. The case charges the devices 3 additional times before needing a wall outlet. 4 full days of hearing before you think about plugging anything in. The honest limitation: if your hearing loss is more than mild to moderate, the Atom Pro will not be enough. It amplifies, but it does not intelligently process. Complex noise environments will still be difficult because the device is not deciding which sounds to prioritize. It is making everything louder. But at $99 with a 45-day return window, for someone on the fence about whether hearing aids would even help them, this is the lowest risk entry point on this entire list. Number 9. Eargo 5. $199. Argo did something the hearing aid industry considered impossible for a long time. They made a completely invisible hearing aid that does not require a custom ear mold. Traditional in-canal hearing aids need to be custom molded to your specific ear shape. That requires an audiologist visit, an impression of your ear canal, a manufacturing weight, and several $100s just for the fitting. Argo replaced the custom mold with a patented silicone pedal design, flexible fibers that hold the device in place inside your ear canal without touching the walls. It floats. It stays. Anyone can put it in without professional help. The result is a hearing aid that is genuinely invisible from any normal conversational distance. Not small and discreet. Actually invisible. The Eargo 5 uses 4 programs: Calm, Crowds, Restaurant, and Outdoors, that you switch between by double-tapping your ear. No phone needed, no buttons to find. You tap the small flap at the front of your ear canal and the program changes. People around you see nothing. Speech clarity in quiet environments is excellent. Sitting close to the eardrum improves high-frequency clarity in a way that behind-the-ear devices have to work harder to achieve. The limitations are real. Background noise management is limited compared to premium devices. Battery lasts about 16 hours. Shorter than most competitors at this price, and Ergo went through financial restructuring, which affected support quality during that period. Recent reviews suggest things have stabilized, but it is worth knowing. For someone whose primary concern is discretion and whose hearing loss sits in the mild to moderate range, the Ergo 5 at $199 solves the visibility problem that keeps millions of people from wearing hearing aids at all. Number 8. Sony CRE E10. $249. Sony is not a hearing aid company. They are one of the largest consumer electronics manufacturers on the planet, and they decided to apply that engineering to hearing aids. The result feels different from everything else on this list the moment you take it out of the box. Build quality, app design. The Sony CRE E10 looks and feels like a product that costs significantly more than it does. It is a self-fitting OTC hearing aid. You download the Sony Hearing Control app, complete a hearing test inside the app, and the device creates a personalized amplification profile based on your results. No audiologist visit needed. The fitting process takes about 15 minutes, and the results are genuinely good for mild to moderate hearing loss. Sony's processing handles 4 listening environments: standard, restaurant, outdoors, and entertainment. Sound quality in each is above what you would expect at this price. Sony's decades of audio engineering for headphones and speakers shows up clearly in how music and television sound through the CRE E10, completely in-canal, invisible from normal viewing distance. Rechargeable case delivers about 3 full charges before needing power. Battery per charge, 26 hours. Best battery life of any in-canal device on this list. The limitation: Sony's hearing aid support infrastructure is not as developed as dedicated hearing aid brands. For straightforward mild to moderate loss that never becomes an issue. For anyone with more complicated hearing needs, it might. At $249, the Sony CREE10 is the best-built device under $300 on this list. The Sony engineering is actually present here, not a famous name rented to someone else's product. Number 7. Jabra Enhance Select 50, $299. Jabra is owned by GN Audio, the same company that makes chips for ReSound hearing aids, sold at audiology clinics for $3,000 to $5,000 a pair. The Enhance Select 50 uses real GN directional microphone technology. Directional processing means the hearing aid focuses on sound in front of you and reduces sound coming from behind. In a real noisy conversation, this makes a measurable difference. Almost nothing else on this list at this price can claim genuine directional processing. The app is a proper hearing aid app, not a basic volume slider. Environment controls, sound balance adjustments, and a self-fitting process that builds your profile from an actual hearing assessment. Bluetooth streaming works. You can stream phone calls and audio directly from your phone, a feature most devices under $500 do not offer at this processing quality level. Battery, 30 hours per charge. Best in this price range on this list. The limitation worth knowing: the Select 50 will tell you through the app if your hearing loss falls outside the mild to moderate range it is designed for. Some people find this frustrating. It is actually honest design. The device tells you what it can and cannot do. For $299 with real directional processing, real Bluetooth streaming, and 30-hour battery from a manufacturer that actually makes hearing aid chips, this is the biggest overachiever in the under $300 category. Number 6. Lexi B2, powered by Bose. $299. Bose spent years developing hearing aid technology before the industry took them seriously. The Lexi B2 is the result. Genuine Bose audio engineering at a price that makes audiologists uncomfortable. The fitting process is different from most OTC devices. Rather than a tone-based hearing test, the Lexi app uses real-world fitting. You listen to speech in different conditions and adjust until it sounds right. The fitting reflects how you actually experience sound in real life, rather than how you respond to isolated tones in a quiet room. Bose's noise processing algorithms are built in rather than simply amplifying everything. Speech clarity is consistently rated among the best of any OTC device currently available. 4 environment settings controllable through the app or buttons on the device. The subscription model is worth understanding before you buy. The $299 gets you the device. Full app features including remote support from Lexi hearing professionals cost $39 a month on top. The hearing aids work without the subscription, but the remote support, which is genuinely useful, costs extra. If you use the subscription for a year, your total cost is closer to $767, still well under clinic prices, but it is not a flat $299. And anyone buying based on the sticker price alone will be surprised. With that clearly understood, the Bose processing inside the Lexi B2 is real. At the base price without subscription, it is one of the best-sounding under $300 hearing aids available right now. Number 5. Jabra Enhance Select 100, $349. Same Jabra platform as the Select 50 we covered at number 7, but with 2 meaningful upgrades: rechargeable batteries and a slightly more advanced processing tier. The reason it earns its own spot is the combination it delivers at $349. Rechargeable, Bluetooth streaming, directional microphones, GN audio chip, 30-hour battery. That full combination does not exist from any other manufacturer under $500. The closest competitor with all 5 features starts at $500 and usually costs more. The directional processing on the Select 100 is slightly more refined than the Select 50. Better front-to-back separation in the specific scenario most hearing aid wearers find hardest. Conversation at a table with background music and multiple surrounding voices. App experience is identical to the Select 50. Clean, functional, useful. Most users find the self-fitting profile requires minimal further adjustment after setup. Same honest limitation as the Select 50. Direct-to-consumer support is improving, but not at the level of a dedicated audiology clinic. Complex fitting needs require patience. For $349 with every feature that matters working properly. This is the hearing aid that makes you genuinely wonder what you are paying for when an audiologist quotes you $3,500. Number 4. Signia Active Pro, $379. Signia is owned by WS Audiology, one of the 5 major hearing aid chip manufacturers in the world. The Active Pro is what happens when a company that makes genuine clinical hearing technology decides to build something that looks like a wireless earbud. From a few feet away, the Signia Active Pro is indistinguishable from a pair of AirPods. Same shape, same stem below the ear. Nobody at a restaurant looks at you and thinks medical device. They think you forgot to take your earbuds out. The technology inside is not earbud technology. It runs on Signia's Experience platform, a genuine clinical-grade chip found in Signia devices sold at audiology clinics for $3,000 to $4,500. Not the current flagship generation, but the one before it. Still clinically relevant. Still measurably better than anything else on this list in terms of chip pedigree. Own voice processing is one of the most underrated features in consumer hearing technology. Most hearing aid wearers report their own voice sounds hollow or echoey. The microphone picks up sound from outside while your voice resonates internally. Signia built a separate processing channel specifically for your own voice. After a brief calibration when you first set up the device, your voice sounds natural in a way no other hearing aid under $1,000 achieves. Bluetooth streaming audio quality is genuinely good, closer to quality wireless earbuds than to a typical hearing aid. You can use them for music and calls, and nobody around you needs to know what they actually are. The limitation: the Active Pro can require extra steps to purchase compared to pure OTC devices. Availability through some channels requires a hearing test result. Not difficult, but worth knowing before you try to order. At $379, with clinical generation Signia chip technology and AirPods-level discretion, the most technically sophisticated hearing aid on this entire list. Number 3. Sennheiser All-Day Clear. $299 Sennheiser has been making professional audio equipment since 1945. Studio microphones, broadcast headsets, reference headphones that audio engineers use to master albums. When Sennheiser built a hearing aid, they applied 80 years of microphone engineering to the part of hearing aid performance that matters most: how well the microphone captures speech in the first place. The microphone quality in the All-Day Clear is the best of any device on this list. Cleaner signal capture means the processor has better raw material to work with, which means the sound delivered to your ear is more accurate, a seemingly small thing that compounds into a meaningfully better experience across an entire day. The self-fitting process through the Sennheiser app takes about 10 minutes and uses a fitting algorithm developed with clinical audiologist input. More sophisticated than most OTC competitors that simply map your responses to preset amplification curves. 3 environment modes. Reliable Bluetooth streaming. Slim behind-the-ear design. Rechargeable with 28 hours of battery life per charge. The All-Day Clear received recognition from the Consumer Technology Association at CES as a standout in hearing technology, notable given that the category includes far more expensive clinical devices. The honest limitation: Sennheiser is not primarily a hearing aid company, and app updates have been slower than dedicated hearing aid brands. Complex fitting adjustments beyond the app require third-party audiologist support. But for speech clarity, microphone quality, and streaming audio experience, the Sennheiser All-Day Clear, at $299, does things that devices at 3 to 4 times the price do not reliably do better. Number 2. Jabra Enhance Plus. $299 GN Audio makes the chips inside ReSound hearing aids sold at audiology clinics for $4,000 to $6,000 a pair. The Jabra Enhance Plus is GN Audio's direct-to-consumer product. Available online for $299. Same company, same chip platform. One sold through an audiologist's office for thousands. One in a small white box online for $299. The Enhance Plus looks exactly like a wireless earbud. Round housing, short stem, sits naturally in the ear. Nobody at a coffee shop knows the difference between these and expensive earbuds. The processing uses GN's actual directional microphone technology, the same underlying approach that makes ReSound perform well in independent clinical evaluations. 2 microphones working together to focus on sound in front of you, while reducing what comes from behind. In a crowded room, this creates a noticeably cleaner speech signal than anything else under $300. Bluetooth streaming is seamless. Phone calls, music, television, all of it streams directly to both ears with GN audio quality. The streaming experience is exceptional, better than most true wireless earbuds at the same price, before you even account for the hearing aid processing. The app is clean and functional. Self-fitting hearing assessment, environment controls, balance adjustments, remote care access through GN's network of hearing professionals who can adjust your profile through the app without a clinic visit. A feature devices at 3 to 4 times this price often charge extra to provide. Battery, 30 hours. Charging case delivers multiple additional charges, several days of battery in your pocket. The honest limitation: works best for mild to moderate hearing loss. More severe loss needs more processing power than any OTC device delivers well. But for mild to moderate loss, GN chip technology, actual directional processing, Bluetooth streaming, earbud appearance, remote care access, 30-hour battery, for $299. There is no honest explanation for why this costs less than a dinner for 2 at a nice restaurant, while devices with comparable chip heritage cost 20 times more at a clinic. The explanation is markup, not technology. The chip is the same company, the building is different. Number 1. Signia Stiletto AX. $399. Everything on this list up to this point has been impressive for its price. The Signia Stiletto AX is impressive at any price. Signia's AX platform does something called split processing that no other manufacturer at any consumer price point replicates. Most hearing aids have one processor handling everything: microphone input, noise analysis, speech enhancement, environment detection, all running through a single chip simultaneously. The AX platform splits this into 2 processors running in parallel. One dedicated entirely to analyzing the sound around you. One dedicated entirely to processing and delivering speech. 2 separate engines, running at the same time, coordinating the results. In practice, This means the Styletto AX can analyze the full sound environment without that analysis competing with the resources needed to process speech. The result is speech clarity and noise that independent audiologists consistently rate above devices costing 2 to 3 times more. The design is the most distinctive on this list. Genuinely slim. A curved shape that follows the natural contour behind the ear. Multiple color options including matte finishes that sit against the head and simply disappear. In a market where most hearing aids look like hearing aids, the Styletto looks like considered design. Bluetooth streaming quality is excellent. Own voice processing included. Your own voice sounds natural rather than hollow. Real-time adjustments, environment control, and remote care through the app. Battery life. 36 hours on a single charge. Best battery life of any rechargeable device on this list by a meaningful margin. Set them in the charging case at night. Fully charged every morning without thinking about it. The honest limitations. The AX platform is not Signia's current flagship. The iX generation adds binaural processing that coordinates both ears simultaneously, which has measurable advantages for severe loss or highly complex listening environments. For most people in the mild to moderate range, the AX delivers everything they need and more. Also worth confirming, the $399 price appears through direct and select retail channels, worth verifying before you purchase, as clinic pricing for the same device runs significantly higher. But the AX split processing delivers what people spend $4,000 at a clinic trying to get. Signia put that into a device that costs $399 and made it look like something you would choose to wear even if you did not need hearing aids. Clinical-grade processing, 36-hour battery, genuinely attractive design, under $400. That is why it is number 1. Every device on this list exists, because the hearing aid market spent decades assuming people would not comparison shop for medical technology. Most people did not. Audiologists controlled access and set prices accordingly. OTC hearing aids changed that. When the companies that actually build hearing aid chips can sell directly to people who need them, $299 buys what $3,000 used to. Drop what you paid for your current hearing aids in the comments, or what you were quoted at a clinic. That number will help the next person reading more than anything else in this video. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this.